Welcome back to the International 3 Eastern Qualifiers, where we've got 4 teams still remaining. 2 of the teams now in lobby awaiting our next match. It's Vici Gaming up against Team Rattlesnake. I'm Gods, and joining me is AUI 2000, who promises to be on his best behavior today.
Yes, there will be no criticism of anything.
You tickle my belly.
Yeah.
LD, on the other hand, he's no longer on the casting desk. He's been let go after some certain
Did he say something bad?
Oh yeah, I criticized a ton about PL in
No,
your
no,
absence last game, so don't worry about
LD
it.
wasn't.
You might
LD
not
wasn't criticizing.
You might not get to sit there anymore.
Oh. Well,
LD wasn't criticizing. He was making some sexist remarks. So let go.
Okay.
We don't tolerate that here at Beyond the Summit. Professionalism is our middle name. On that note, let's get into some team introductions. We've got 2 teams ready to go in the lobby, so let's introduce our 2 teams. It's Rattlesnake up against Vici Gaming. Let's see the 2 lineups. Both teams from China. Vici Gaming, our team with the infamous, what am I talking about? The famous ZSMJ, the legend for his Medusa, as well as Joe Ranger. He's the carry player for this Vici Gaming team. We've got your 2-position solo mid superstar. It's CTY, considered by many to be the best solo mid in China. Moving on, we have our 3-position player, your offlaner XTT, playing a lot of that Darkseid. We've got your 2 supports, and we've got FY playing some epic Rubik there. 2 Rubiks as signature heroes. It's just that damn good. And then finally, your hard support player. It's Fenrir, known for his Shadow Demon, Jakiro, and Nyx Assassin. Vici Gaming, you saw them a bit last week. How do you think they go? I mean, is it all about CTY, or does the rest of the team add a lot, AUI?
I mean, it's not all about CTY, but he definitely plays a gigantic part. We saw, especially in Shadow Demon, how even though even if he doesn't have the best early game, he can really like pull some pretty neat stuff off here. Like he'll scepter the Batrider right when he blinks in.
Yeah.
And when he gets on a snowball hero, he just dominates the entire game.
You need to get snaking watching some of his replays.
Maybe.
It's the key to TI3 success. Anyways, here we have our other team. It's Team Rattlesnake. Your hard carry player Icy's been playing some fairly standard heroes, though, as you can see some signature heroes there. Shadow Fiend, a potential pickup we may see in this series against Vici Gaming, something even ZSMJ occasionally plays. Then we've got your solo mid player, Luo, and as far as solo mids go, Rattlesnake use some unconventional ones. The Alchemist, every now and then they put the DK, which is somewhat less unconventional. Ogre Magi even there. I don't think we'll be seeing that solo mid Ogre Magi, unfortunately. We have Lan M. Well, he's, of course, known by many. Played for eHome during the International 2, who's playing that offlane role now for Rattlesnake. Then we have our 2 supports. Kabu, famous for his clockwork. The one time he doesn't always play that support role is when they actually pick up the clockwork here. Something Rattlesnake definitely want to get their hands on. Vici Gaming, similar story. They've been running a lot of solo mid clockwork. And then finally, it's Sag M, formerly known as Neo from Nirvana China, who is the hard support player for this team, Rattlesnake. Did you get to catch many of Rattlesnake's games, AUI? How do you think they'll fare against a team like Vici Gaming?
I think from what I've heard, this will be probably the closest match, and like any of these teams could come in first. This qualifier is going to be really, really close.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really excited to see them. I saw some tweets saying like, "This is the one I've been waiting for," and these are the 2 teams I really want to watch. So.
Yeah, Rising Stars took it to 3 games, but you definitely felt LGD was just a bit better than them, even though the one game was just like, well, that was an off game for LGD, then LGD just crushed them 2 games in a row. This game, I feel like we could get 3 really close games, which is hopefully what we do get out of this one. But we'll introduce our 2 casters for the match. It is going to be Purge as well as Luminous. How are you guys doing over there? Hopefully a bit more politically correct than ourselves over here on the panel.
I am 100% PC. You will hear nothing negative out of me. But I'm doing great. How are you doing?
We're doing good too.
Cool.
I like how we have this PC setup. Now we don't have white power on one side and not white
down
power
the middle
on the other.
because
There you go.
that's how we do it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty pumped for the game. I think Vici Gaming is probably my 2nd favorite team of the tournament. I don't know, CTY just impresses the hell out of me. And I think Rattlesnake is fantastic, but they actually went 2-1 versus Myth Trust. They were the ones that ended up eliminating Myth Trust, so they had a little bit of a hard fight there.
Right.
And I'm kind of thinking that Vici has the best chance of winning this match here.
I'll have to correct you. It was Rising Stars who eliminated Myth Trust.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
Sorry,
I told Purge the otherwise, so don't blame him on
Okay.
that. And obviously, I just confused the 2 teams.
Rising
'cause
Snake, Rattlestars.
Rising
I asked the
balls,
worst
whatever.
possible person.
There
to
you go. You
confirm
asked the
my
person that doesn't know the
statistics.
team names.
I was like, "Is this right?" And he's like, "Yes."
Yep, for sure. But a lot of us has LG first and Vici second, so we expect Vici to go far. But I think this is going to be the more interesting matchup, the more difficult matchup. Both these teams play against each other in DSL and a lot of Chinese scrims. So they should, unless they have some like secret strats that have been prepared for this, then, you know, it should be a very standard best of 3. It could go either way.
All right. Well, definitely looking forward to this matchup here. At predictions, AUI, who do you think takes it, if anyone? Of course, someone's going to take it, but...
I still like VG's chances the best. I would
Okay.
say like 2-1 though, because I think Rattlesnake is quite good.
All right. Casters, where are your predictions lying?
I want to say 2-0, but I feel like that's a little ridiculous. So I'll say 2-1 for Vici as well, just to cover my bets.
2-1 Vici, because none of you guys have the cojones to take your bets.
My money, it's all on Rattlesnake. Rattlesnake's actually the team I have to win the qualifier.
Damn.
That's why you're betting.
I have
that
them
way.
I actually had them first with Vici Gaming second. After seeing LGD play, though, I kind of have to reconsider. I think it's going to be LGD and Rattlesnake who get the top 2 spots, but I think Rattlesnake are playing well, and I think they'll actually take this series 2-0. So
Damn.
Oh damn!
I'm going to man up.
There's no
Blitz
way.
isn't here, otherwise I'd look to get his backup since he's always right on the bets. But guys, we've had our predictions, we've had our thoughts on the match. We'll be taking a quick break. When we come back, we'll be live with Vici Gaming up against Rattlesnake.
Hey guys, we're here for game 1 of Vici versus Rattlesnakes. This is for the other side of the bracket for today. The winner of this is going to go on to play LGD. The winner of that ends up going to the grand finals and ends up guaranteeing a spot to go to Seattle. So these matches are absolutely huge. If they can win this set and then go on to the next one, it would be really big for these guys.
And that's just a spot to Seattle, not exactly a spot in TI3.
Yeah.
One of them plays in TI3, the other one plays DD. But we're very far from that. Let's actually talk about the matchup here. We have Vici Gaming on one side and Rattle Stars. Is that Rattle Stars or Rattlesnake? See, like I just get so confused.
What is it? Is this
Rattle
a bad...
S Stars.
Okay, so I read something on Reddit. Which team was it for? One of the teams had like a swear word in their name that they... Oh, it was Bat Rider. There was some... R.I. was apparently a swear word or like a slang word for a swear word, and they had to star it out, which might be the case here as well. Any ideas?
I thought it was snakes.
What's Nake? N-A-K-E? Is that should I not be saying that? It's off limits. Rattles. Let's just call them Rattles.
Rattles. I
Rattles
mean, rising
gaming.
balls, up snakes, whatever we want to call
I thought
them.
we were
but-
going PC. What just happened?
What?
We were
Rising balls? That's PC. It's just
I
balls
guess.
that are going up in the air. Like, wait, that's actually not PC at all. All right, rising rattlesnakes on the Radiant side. They're gonna be banning out Wisp as well as Shadow Demon here. Darkseer is gonna be the opening pick. Meanwhile, Vici Gaming is gonna be banning out Lifestealer and Bat Rider. Clockwork and Visage gonna be their opening picks as well. I'm not sure what you put on Compendium. I'm not sure if anybody actually guessed Visage is going to be the most pick-up hero
No
on the
kidding.
Eastern Scene.
He has been everywhere, man.
I know.
We thought I put down like Shadow Demon or Rubik. Those were supports that were in almost every single game, at least in the Western scene. Tons of Rubik. Don't see it here. Almost never. It's always Visage or Shadow Demon. But Shadow Demon actually gets banned. So
Yeah, Shadow Demon's being banned on most of these games as well. Teams have been kind of redefining the pick ban phase. We've seen Nadim and Kun get bans, for example, against LGD.
I think that's just because LGD was playing the hero a lot. Like
Right.
they drafted him first round every game of G1 League, as far as I knew.
Yeah, but it just shows you that teams rather play against Bat Rider or Magnus, which completely blows my mind. Compared to
that's
Kunkka,
surprising.
right? Yeah, so it's actually very different, and it's actually very refreshing to see. That means we're going to see, like, for example, more of Nyx Assassin, which is kind of a high-impact support, makes big plays all over the game, especially when he's ganking. But Queen of Pain's making a resurgence today as well. Generally, we don't see him too much, or her too much in the Chinese metagame, but we're seeing her pop up time and time again today.
Yep, she gets drafted with the Nyx Assassin, so at the moment, Rattlesnake should be able to do an offlane Darkseer, a mid Queen of Pain, and a support Nyx Assassin. So their lanes are honestly pretty open. If they really want to, they could do a 1v1 matchup in whatever other ways. They could do an aggressive trialing, for example. Vici responds with the Lone Druids. They've got Lone Druid, Visage, Clockwork, so probably a solo Lone Druid. Could be against the Darkseer, could be against the Queen of Pain. Clockwork could be offlane. I mean, their lanes are not super easy to predict at the moment. They could really go a lot of ways.
Yeah, I find that Lone Druid just... I think he wins pretty much every matchup against Queen of Pain or Darkseer, or as well as Nyx Assassin. That's the power you get when you pick up Lone Druid, especially somewhat late in this draft. Generally, you see Lone Druid go a little bit earlier. We're in second ban stage now, and Finrar's Rubik getting a little bit of respect. He's probably one of the best Rubik player, like after Chuan in China, and that's kind of a big deal if you're ever second best after Chuan, because you're born and then you're second best to Chuan. So when you're this good at Rubik, that's a big deal.
And
And
that could be number 2.
there you go. Leshrac and Keeper is going to get banned out on the other side, and Gyrocopter from Rattlesnakes.
Yeah, there's actually no carries drafted yet, other than Lone Druid, of course. So, but most often, Lone Druid isn't always played in the one farming role. He has been quite a bit this tournament so far. There's been a lot of experimentation, especially with long lanes, more so than there were in the past from the Asian scene. But Dragonite banned as well, so another hero that has been seeing a lot of mid play. I can't even remember if teams are doing it specifically. Seems like Dragonite's been popular all over the place. A lot of teams have been playing him, I think.
Yeah, I think you get a ton of versatility when you get Dragonite. We've seen the one-row Dragonite quite rarely now, but when you play the solo mid, you get, for example, if you want some initiation, Shadowblade DK is pretty awesome. And then if you want a little bit more tank, the Drums BKB is gonna give you that frontline sieging Dragonite that you want. So he give you the gank, he give you the damage, he give you the mid-game carry. So because he's so versatile, people kind of just jam it into the solo mid lane every lineup, which he does lose badly against Bat. He loses badly against Queen of Pain as well. So maybe that's why we don't see him all the freaking time, like the new Magnus, for example.
Yeah, I actually like him in a mid roll as well, because when you play him as a hard carry, he usually requires like 2 decent items before he actually not only is survivable, but he's also a good damage dealer. Like you can either get Black King bar fast. Most players almost always go like treads with the drum. That way you don't have to get a mana regen item. You have a little bit of mana from the int there. But if you really want to do major damage, you have to get a magic immunity item like a Black King bar, and you have to get a damage item, whether that's Shadow Blade or maybe even an armlet.
Yeah.
I do that in pubs sometimes, but it does kind of limit your fighting after the team fights. Like after the team fight ends, you have no HP, and you usually have to leave. So it can cost you a bit.
Well, we're not going to see him in this particular game. Maybe a little bit later on this series. Rattlesnake have their lane, like you said, somewhat already apparent, and that's going to be somewhat easier for Vici Gaming to draft around. Generally, what we see from most drafts is that they keep their lanes so kind of unpredictable. Like kind of you talked about how Vici Gaming could lane it however they want. Whereas for Rattlesnake, they're pretty much locked, I want to say. Juggernaut's going to be, I imagine, be involved in the trial lane with the next assassin. So that means they're going to be looking to kind of a long-range disabler, whether it's going to be like a Lina as a follow-up stun or maybe even a Jakiro. But we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah, the trial lane isn't super effective in terms of harass at the moment, since they're going to have a double melee with Next Assassin and Juggernaut. We have seen some support Juggernauts, so maybe it could be something weird. I've seen Darkseer in lanes with Juggernauts before. It could get weird. Skywrath Mage actually a little bit more of a random luxury pick. We don't see him a lot, but he does get drafted sometimes. Most likely going to be Vici Gaming's mid hero. Hopefully CTY playing the hero. I would love to see him play that. Super talented player. Skywrath Mage, pretty high skill cap relatively. He's got low HP. He's got really low armor, so you have to be very careful. And you have to know your timings really well with silences and stuff like that, because he's actually quite good versus Queen of Pain. You can silence for 3 seconds, put a slow, drop the ulti. If you position it correctly, you can definitely nuke people down.
Yeah, I mean, there's a clockwork, so if clockwork gets you the free setup, you just nuke all of the place.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the silence is not only good against Queen of Pain. Darkseer likes to usually surge himself in and then try to combo you. You drop a silence on top, and suddenly he's in this awkward position. Same thing against Nyx Assassin. So this is actually one of the more powerful pickup.
5 seconds.
Oh my goodness, Stormspirit's gonna get picked here from Rattlesnake as well. I'm not sure whether they're picking into the Skywrath Mage, or it's more like now you have to silence everybody and you only have one of them. So yeah, this is a very interesting draft.
It's still really surprising though. I mean, we were just talking about all the easy 1v1 counters. Skywrath Mage is great against Nyx. It's great against Queen of Pain. He can silence Darkseer. He can silence Storm Spirit. If he gets any advantage to Skywrath Mage, he is gonna snowball very easily.
Really easily.
If he gets a little bit of mana regen and he goes around the map a bit, he can just solo kill people, rinse, repeat endlessly. Storm Spirit is hard countered by single target silences, and Skywrath Mage should be able to land his.
Yeah, in the past when I think Skywrath Mage first came out, everybody was experimenting him in the solo mid position. Lately, the Chinese seems to be playing him more so as a support, but because there's so much value gained by having a quick, Ancient Steel max, I think maybe even going solo mid is the only choice here. They're taking a ton of time here. I guess if they want to really go deep in the silence mode, they could actually pick up a Puck. I mean, the lane against Queen of Pain, if you want to put Puck mid, is not that bad.
So where would you put the Skywrath then, in the tri lane?
They usually run him as a support. So
support in the tri
yeah, early kind of concussive shots into silence, and then a single point of arcane bolts. But it's just awkward. I guess tri lane Clockwork with Visage as well as Skywrath Mage is a decent choice, because you could even get a kill on Juggernaut. Generally, Juggernaut's just immune to most against supports, because he just spins away any kind of slows or stuns. Skywrath Mage drop a silence and you just kind of go ham on him. So
sounds like a really weird tri
Yeah,
lane.
it sounds like I'm pretty out there when I say that.
Yeah,
but Vici Gaming's definitely taking their time.
Yeah, they've got 25 seconds left on the clock, so they don't have to make a decision just yet. Again, it kind of looks like, how's Rattlesnake going to lane this? I'm guessing this is going to be an aggressive tri lane with the Darkseer Iron Shell. That's kind of what it looks like, because they have a Stormseer as well as a Queen of Pain. Those are solo matchups, and the last hero pick is actually a Spectre, so Lone Druid likely to be the off lane, I guess. I'm really not that sure, but let's go over the players quick. I'll do the Radiant team here. For Rattlesnake, we've got Icy playing the Juggernaut. Kabu is playing the Darkseer. On the mid lane, we've got Lanham playing the Storm Spirit. Luo is playing the Queen of Pain, and the last player is going to be Seg Hearts M playing the next Assassin.
Yeah, I think Lamb's actually expecting a solo mid Skywrath Mage. Just actually have this early magic stick and I
Yeah.
don't know what else would be for. I guess if you expect the Clock to spam Rocket Flare, it'll be good, but he now knows that Clock's going to be going mid because, well, CTY is going to be handling that one. We're going to have ZSMJ playing none other than Spectre, and so far he's on the off lane here. I guess they're trying to dodge. Maybe they're expecting offensive traveling. We're going to see Funra playing a Visage. FY is going to be handling the Skywrath Mage, and last but not least, we're going to see XTT on the safe lane Lone Drea. So this is one of the few instances we're seeing
30
ZSMJ
seconds to
on the off lane, and mostly going to be dodging it. He's got a little bit of pull here. I think double tango being pulled up.
Yep.
So it should be okay. So Skywrath Mage as a support, pretty decent because of his initiation range is very long, and the 40% slow at level 1, very reminiscent of the Venomancer Gale and how Venomancer won a lot of trialing. They will see Neo here, or Sagam, on the Nyx Assassin, but decides to not make that go.
And it's a little weird as well that they're actually going aggressive and looking for enemy lanes, because that actually has now revealed what they're doing. So I think this is actually exactly what Rattlesnake want. If we look at the top lane, it's a Juggernaut Darkseer. And we saw something similar to this recently, which was a Clockwork Darkseer against a Lone Druid, because you put the Ion Shell on the Juggernaut, he's going to spin, do some magic damage, and if the Lone Druid gets out of position, this is a really, really bad thing for him.
Yeah, once you get level 2, you could just spin, run him across with the Iron Shell and then start spinning, doing a little bit even body block on top. But they will now, it's not a trial lane that they're facing up against. In fact, it's going to be Bear pulling this one right between the tier 1 and tier 2. Makes it very difficult to dive. A ton of safe farm here from XDT. And how is this trial lane going to work out on the bot lane? I imagine Queen of Pain now swapping on the bot lane, or actually starting on the bot lane. He's going to have a very easy time. Until you get that Ancient Steel at level 2, I don't think you can get a kill against Luo.
Yeah, it's going to be a little tough to get the kill before that. They actually did pick up Soul Assumption. They're going to throw a dagger on her, which doesn't really do that much damage. She came to lane with a lot of extra regen, actually, with 2 sets of tangos and 1 cell, with just a bunch of Ironwood branches on top of that. So she was expecting, I'm pretty sure, it looks like Rattlesnake knew exactly what was coming in these lanes.
Yeah, the dagger was actually quite questionable. Now ZSMG without mana until he actually turns level 2 and get that little bit of regen going on. But to be honest, they don't get that kill till level 2 anyway, so maybe he was actually using it for a little bit of a last hit / harass. Back in the mid lane here, what do you feel has the advantage? Stormstrid, really, really good against most melee heroes, especially if he wants to take that 3rd point into overload. On the same time though, you do have very good solo killing potential when you get that battery assault at 4, or 3, 4, and even 5, and just get on Lamb and maybe even zone him out or get a kill.
Yeah, that's what you have to watch out for, is the cogs. If you are going to want to go melee range if you want to harass the Clockwork, so if you get a little too close, you will drain your mana there. And actually, if you look at his skill, the Clockwork is maxing this out first, and it's actually pretty efficient between level 1 and level 2. It's a 50% increase in drain as well as HP damage. If you can land the power cogs and drain Stormspirit's mana down, this could be really huge, because it's going to prevent him from taking any harass advantage out of it.
Yeah, that cog has a deceptively large AoE, especially when Stormspirit only has 480 attack range. You could kind of get him pretty good. Looks like we have Neo can find himself a regen rune. Hasn't spent a single point of mana, so I think he's waiting for Storm to grab it. Yes, Storm is going to grab it. If you look at Neo, he's got no EXP. And meanwhile, they're going to make it go on Luo. Dagger, silence, she's going to blink away. Don't get the kill, but that's not exactly the biggest deal. You could always try again. This time, however, they would not have ZSMJ's dagger. He does not have clarity, he's out of mana. He's going to have boots, I imagine now. Unless he's going to save for a quick ring of health. Nope. Going to go for standard boots.
Yeah, there's only so much damage you can do with the Qualifier. She burns herself, has 3 tangos left over, and the mana on Skywrath Mage is actually filling back up again. So they could jump on her again. Visage is a little low additionally, so them getting a kill is very unlikely. But again, the creep skipping is going on with Juggernaut as well as Darkseer. Iron Shell, he can spin this if he needs to, but he's actually out of mana, and they will continue to take last hits. And this is going to give them a really good shot at taking this tower pretty early, which would be a really nice advantage to the rest of the lanes, especially on the mid lane.
I mean, look at XTT right now. He's just on his tier 2, trying his best to get last hit. Not exactly the worst thing. In fact, he's sending the bear, trying to pull the next wave. So he lost one wave entirely because of this creep skip. But for the most part, he's getting a lot more than you expect against a dual lane by himself. So he's doing quite all right.
And where's his bear at the moment? Okay, he is pulling creeps again.
Yeah,
still just a stout shield. Keeps resummoning. Level 3 for him, and we'll be able to buy boots pretty soon here. Man, this dual lane combo is so good at killing creeps. They have a stout shield. Yeah, they do have a stout shield on Juggernaut. The healing aura is really helping out. And the Darkseer's going to try to pull the creep wave actually into the neutrals. And it looks like he's going to be able to. He's going to miss this one last hit, but this is just a really nice thing that you can do. If the bear is ever pulling creep aggro, you can just walk there with your hero, run the creep wave into a neutral camp, and you let the creep wave. It's like a free pull. It's like, oh, thank you for pulling this for me.
Yep, and that's going to be another wave that's going to be missing. But on the bot lane, Queen of Pain's having a similar difficulty. Almost going to hit level 4. But I mean, Queen of Pain really needs to actually catch up on levels a lot more than a Lone Druid can, because Lone Druid could leave him in the jungle and farm for like 5-6 minutes. He come out with Armland with a decent level. Queen of Pain, you need her to be dominating the supports 10 minutes in the game, and I don't think she's gonna have a good start because of such.
So it's actually looking pretty good for Vici Gaming at the moment. Their aggressive trialing is paying off. The Spectre's getting last hits. Queen of Pain has gotten a couple, but really not that many. Mid lane is breaking